SSC combined graduate level exams and also for CLAT examinations. So do visit AKS IAS Academy and also visit the website of the AKS IAS Academy. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan and my credentials are I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations and internal security and analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session will certainly help you to crack prelims and mains examination, that is AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis, because I would be emphasizing throughout my lecture, I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases, and these keywords and the key phrases will certainly make you get into the practice of identifying the factual, analytical and also the conceptual questions which will be certainly important for you for the prelims point of view. And once you get into the mode of identifying the factual, analytical and conceptual questions by emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases through the daily news analysis, so definitely you will have an edge over others in the preliminary examination. And in regards to the mains examination also, this session will certainly help you by making you get into the mode of imbibing the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing in the mains, so that your answers are precise and concise. And this is what I repeatedly say that is being demanded by UPSC, that your answers have to be precise and concise so that you can score higher marks in the mains examination. So definitely the prelims and mains through the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis for 2020 and also for 2021. This session will definitely help you to crack prelims and mains for 2020 and 2021 also. And we'll get into the daily news analysis, that is today's daily news analysis. And this will definitely, as I said, my tagline goes ahead is emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases from the newspaper. So this emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases will certainly make you get into the practice of having an edge over others in the preliminary examinations and also in the mains examinations. So not only in the prelims and mains, you would also be more comfortable even in the interview, that is in the personality test, having edge over others and scoring better marks or higher marks even in the interview. And today we will go ahead with the daily news analysis, that is 28 today's. And before we get into the topic, there is a quote for the day, and the quote for the day says that success come to those who have the willpower. Success come to those who have the willpower to win over their snooze buttons. So I hope many of them will definitely try to recollect the number of times you have switched off the alarm bell, the watch, or also the mobile, the snooze button. So extremely sorry. So the one would attain success, and the success would come to those who have the willpower, to win over the snooze button. So you should make sure that you are not listening to the snooze buttons. If you have gone ahead with alarm before the snooze button or for the first time itself, you need to wake up and then get into the mode of your goal, get into the mode of the path of attaining the goal. So definitely this is a nice quote which I felt, because many of us would try to go ahead with just clicking on the snooze button so that it will be extended. No, we have to win over the snooze button. And before I get into the daily news analysis, I would say a very good morning to the one who are in the live and also in the live chat. And my humble request is the one who is in the live but not in the live chat, please do be part of the live chat. Please do be part of the live chat so that you can put in your views and also your doubts, so that it would be a very interactive session. It would be an interactive session. So my humble request, the one in the live, please do be part of the live chat. And I would say very good morning to Ram Kumar, Madhu, Nagajyoti, Nara, Prithviraj, Achit, D. Suvarna, Kakbar, Ramya, Azmat Khan, Sampat Kumar, all of you, a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. Okay, Achit is asking about, sir, daily Telugu preparation, best newspaper and how. Because I hope even AKS IAS Academy is also providing the current affairs in Telugu. So you can follow that. You can definitely follow that. And Narsimha has joined, Ravichandra have joined. A warm welcome to you all. Now we'll get into the topic, that is the news which talks about borrow from RBI to bridge GST gap, center tells states. So here what we will focus is GST compensation. So GST compensation from center to states. So as per the GST Act 2017, GST Act 2017, the center is supposed to pay the states the compensation or the revenue loss which these states would feel or states will experience because of the GST, that is goods and services tax. Because all the tax were consumed into one tax, that is GST. So 2017, the center has agreed that the center will go ahead with the compensation to the states because the GST is now in the hands of the center, the collection of the GST. So the states have asked for the compensation for 5 years. So definitely this center has to go ahead with giving or providing the revenue loss because of the GST introduction. So the news is now because the center says that definitely there is a revenue gap. The center says that there is a GST revenue gap. Why there is a GST revenue gap? Because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, the center or the GST or the team is unable to go ahead with the collections, and thereby the center has acknowledged that it has accepted that the states are likely to face the GST revenue gap, and this will make sure that there would be an economy contract. Because this keyword, yesterday we have discussed that in regards to, not only yesterday, day before also, RBI annual report and McKinsey Group MGI are both made it very clear that India's economy is contracting. So what is very important is RBI report, and then MGI has come up with the report, and now the finance ministry is acknowledging that there will be a GST revenue gap, the states which will face because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, and the consequences of that would be on the economy, India's economy, and India's economy is bound to be contracted. That means it will shrink because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, which is very clearly stated by the finance minister. But here the finance ministry is making it very clear that the GST revenue gap has taken place because of the COVID-19, and COVID-19 is an unforeseen act of God. COVID-19 is unforeseen. That means nobody has expected the COVID-19, which is act of God. This is what the statement made by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in regards to the COVID-19, which has impacted the GST revenue collection, and that thereby it has impacted the GST revenue gap wherein the states are supposed to get from the center, that is the GST compensation. This is very important, and the keywords please do understand: GST compensation, GST revenue gap. These are the keywords: GST compensation and GST revenue gap are the keywords which you need to focus. And the center then has offered. So the finance ministry or the center is now giving two options to the states, because definitely the center is unable to pay the revenue or else the compensation, GST compensation, which the states are supposed to get by the Goods and Services Tax Act 2017 for the first 5 years of the implementation of the GST tax. And what are the two options is that the first option is which the finance ministry is saying to the states that definitely there is a revenue gap of 3 lakh crores rupees. So there is a revenue gap of how much? 3 lakh crore rupees. So this is the revenue gap. That means 3 lakh crore rupees is the one which the center has to repay it to the states because of the GST compensation. But because of that, the states can only get 97,000 crores. Please do understand. Out of 3 lakh crore rupees, the states can get only 97,000 crores. That means that is the only GST collected revenue which is with the center, and the rest 2.3 is not available but has to be paid back to the state. The states are reeling under financial crunch. For that, what is important is now the finance ministry has come up with the two options. First one is single window, and the other one is, I'll just say it, other one is borrowing from the states. Other one is borrowing from the states. So please do understand, the states can borrow. Borrowing of states. The states can borrow. So these are the two options which were given by the finance ministry, so that the gap, whatever the gap is there, or the states are unable to get the GST compensation from the center. Two option is special window. By that what? In this special window, the states can have consultation with the RBI and they can take loan. The states can take loan with a rate of, or else with a small or very reasonable rate of interest, and the amount can be paid in the after 5 years. This is very important. Please do understand. The special window is that the RBI, the states can approach the RBI and then go ahead with taking a loan, and that loan will be at a very reasonable rate of interest, and which the states can repay to the RBI after 5 years. After 5 years. And the other one is borrowing of the state. So definitely you have the fiscal responsibility, budget management. So here these states can go ahead with only 3% of the GDP in regards to the borrowing or external borrowing or expenditure. But now the finance minister has given additional 5% of borrowing by the states, so that they can try to handle the financial requirement or revenue gap which has been taken up because of the COVID-19, wherein the GST through the center, the GST compensation which the states are supposed to get is now at a very bad scenario, and only the states can get 97,000, and the rest 2.3 lakh crores rupees. This center is saying that you have two options, as I said, special window, and the other one is the states can borrow it. So please do understand these two keywords. And why I am saying this is, you link it because day before yesterday the Supreme Court has also said in regards to the moratorium of the loan moratorium. It says that why not the center come up with the affidavit, file the affidavit in the court, and the center has to be very clear in regards to the whether the center will go ahead with imposing the rate on or else interest on interest. I did say this. Please do link all this. interest on interest. I did say this. The Supreme Court has asked whether the common man or the poor man, common or poor man, would be facing the rate of, that is, interest on interest in regards to the loan moratorium scheme. Please do understand, this is what the Supreme Court has said to the government of India, that the loan moratorium scheme ends on August 31st. So it said that why is the government of India hiding behind RBI? This is what it said. RBI hiding behind RBI. And now also it says that now the center, that is the finance ministry, is not taking loan. Please do understand the logic here. The finance ministry is not taking loan. Please do understand the logic from RBI and paying the GST revenue compensation to states. Please do understand the logic. The finance ministry is not taking loan from the RBI and paying back to the states, which is the GST revenue compensation which the center has to pay to the states as per the GST Act 2017. But instead, it is giving or offering states two options, that you go ahead with consultation with the RBI so that the states can go ahead with getting 97,000 crore at a reasonable rate of interest. That is what, even if we now focus it to back 2 days back, what the Supreme Court has said is why the government of India is hiding behind RBI in regards to the loan moratorium scheme, and again in regards to the GST compensation also. So do link it. I think you are getting the point. This is how your analysis has to be, understanding of the topic and then linking it with. And the second one, as I said, the another option is the entire gap of. So out of the 3 lakh crore, 97,000 can be brought up by the states from the RBI in the form of loan, and the entire gap, that is the rest 2.375 lakh crores. Here it is crores. Yeah. This can be brought or made by the RBI, and certain facilities will be brought in. And definitely it says that once the first option is accepted, then they will remove the FRBM Act, that is the amount of percentage wherein the states can borrow, external borrowing. The states, it is only 3%. Now they will extend it to further 3.5%, because during the COVID season it has been extended from 3 to 4% FRBM, that is external borrowing. As per the FRBM Act, the external borrowing should be only 3% of the GDP or the revenue budget, and the state GST revenue gap here will amount to 3 lakh, definitely, as we looked at, and there would be a shortfall. The collection is only 65,000 crore and the shortfall is 2.35 lakh crores. That is what it's talking about. The collection, the entire collection is only, you have to look at the collection is only 65,000 crore and the shortfall is 2.35 lakh crore. This is what the state's GST gap in 2021 is, and this is as per the center's estimates. Okay, before I get to the next topic, I would say a very good morning to Ravi Chandra, Gharga, Shashi Kumar, Santoshi, Gopi Nayak, Harika, Madhavan, Madhu. Okay, Madhu has joined. Good job. Ram Kumar, and then Ramya. All of you, very good morning and a warm welcome to all of you to AKS IAS Academy Day News Analysis. And I would just read what the doubts are. Madhu says, in what way government borrow money from RBI, like government securities, etc., or other way? See, here in this sense, the finance minister has given the permission that it would have consultation with the RBI and then going to take up the loan based on the COVID-19 pandemic situation. So it all depends upon the consultation which the RBI takes up, because probably in a couple of days we will understand whether there are any kind of rules and regulations put forth that the RBI is asking the kind of securities from the states. So whether there would be a security or non-security, that we will understand within a couple of days. Madhu, I think you got it. And Ram Kumar says, sometime it had UGC net classes. I had UGC net classes, sir. Okay, I didn't understand. Same time I had. Okay, fine. Okay, Ram Kumar, no problem. I hope you can still really enjoy the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis by me, Sandeep Bhushan. And Ramya says, is compensation sets different from state to state? So it all depends upon the state. Yes, definitely if you are saying that state to state, it all depends upon the state's revenue collection. So it depends upon the state revenue collection. State revenue collection before 2017. And then again they have put it for another 5 years plus 5 years 2021. So it is the state revenue collection based on the state revenue collections. And then Vishanjali says, from which month current affairs to prepare for UPSC exam? It's always better to go ahead with Vishanjali. A warm welcome to you, Vishanjali. Very good morning. And in regards to the preparation, it's always good 8 to 12 months. To be on a safer side, and it's always good to have 12 to 18 months. If you are able to cover 8 to 12 months, then well and good, and you can still not miss even a 1 or 2 questions if you are thorough or if you are having the entire understanding of the current affairs of 12 to 18 months. So 1 year is good, very important. And now what we have looked at is, this was discussed where? This was discussed in the GST Council. Please do understand. The Finance Minister saying that offering of the 2 options was discussed in the GST Council. So what is important again for the prelims point of view is that you need to get into the mode of understanding the GST Council, because there could be a question that it could be a static question. There could be a static question in the UPSC. That is why I am giving you the additional information. So what we have discussed till now is the dynamic information. Dynamic, that is current, contemporary. But there could be static information, static questions, that is conventional questions from the. So what is about GST Council? No doubt it is current. See, look at this. That is why I am saying now Vishanjali, you might get the clear idea about it. See, this is almost in 2017 GST Council was set up, and probably there could be a question again asked in 2020 also about the GST Council. So GST Council is what? If we will not try to miss any of the questions wherein you can fetch a higher score in the prelims and then get through the prelims and then be ready for the mains examination. So GST Council is the constitutional body by the recommendations of the union and the state governments, and this is related to what? This is related to goods and services tax, or issues in regards to the goods and services tax. Please do understand, GST Council always looks into any issues which pops up in regards to the GST or goods and services tax between the union, issues between union and states or else center and states. Please do understand, this is very important. The GST Council is a constitutional body which has been set up in 2017 as per the Article 279. I will explain all that. And then that is, it looks into the GST Council. GST Council is to look into the issues in regards to the goods and services tax between union and state or else center and state. And it is chaired by whom? No doubt or undoubtedly it is the Union Finance Ministers. It is chaired by Union Finance Minister, and the members are the State Revenue or Finance Ministers. State Revenue or Finance Ministers, and along with that you have sometimes even Minister of State, Minister of State or Minister in charge of Finance. So please do understand, it is chaired by the Finance Minister, Union Finance Minister, and members of all the state finance ministers or the minister in charge of the finance of the states. And this is very important for prelims point of view. The introducing or introduction, this is very important. Introduction of GST is by which of the following bill? Is 122nd Amendment Bill 2016. The introduction of the GST is being done by the Constitutional Amendment Bill 122nd. This is very very important introduction, and it was introduced both in Rajya Sabha and first in Rajya Sabha passed, and then later on into the Lok Sabha. So first in Rajya Sabha 3rd August, and then later on it was passed in the introduced and then later on passed in the Lok Sabha on 8th August. So what is that in regards to the introduction of GST is the Constitutional Amendment Bill is very very important, 122nd. And in regards to the assent which the President has assigned the bill, 122nd, the bill which has been assigned or it has been approved by the President of India, that is, and once it is approved, it is the act. It has become an act, and that act is 101st Amendment Act. This is very important. Please do understand. And this act is 101st Constitutional Amendment Act. Please do understand. Bill is 122nd and the act is 101st. This you do not get confused if it is asked in the prelims in regards to the GST Council, in regards to again polity point of view. So we have looked at economy, and then also we are linking it with the polity. That is how you need to prepare. So economy we have looked at in regards to GST, goods and services tax, and which is the article which is actually bill or article that is in regards to the Constitutional Amendment Act bill. Bill is in regards to 122nd bill, Constitutional Amendment Bill, and the act is 101st. This is very very important. You need to understand for prelims point of view, because it has been notified or the assent of the President on 8th September 2016, and the article which is involved in regards to the GST Council constituting or establishing is Article 279A. This is very important. So 122nd Constitutional Amendment Bill and then 101st Constitutional Amendment Act, and then the article, and then GST Council. Why it is the purpose of it is to look into the issues of GST between center and state. This you need to focus. I hope this is the way you are also preparing when you are reading or when you are following the topics in various other subjects also. And then Sri Biki has joined. A warm welcome to you, Sri Biki. And the other news is states can have subgroups among SCs and STs. So again, here the news which is again in regards to the prelims, which is very very important, and also in regards to the social or society or social issues also you can take it in regards to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, what the court is saying now. So the Supreme Court has spoken about the states have the right to subclassify. So here it is classification of the caste, that is subclassifying of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. This is what the Supreme Court has made it very clear that it can go ahead with. Now we will focus in regards to that. So a 5-judge bench which is headed by again Justice Arun Mishra has said that the states can subclassify. Now the states, who can subclassify it? The states. So states has the power, it says. States has the power to subclassify these scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Please do understand. We will look at what has happened in the past and now what is happening now in regards to the subclassification or subcaste of scheduled caste and subcaste of scheduled tribes, right? And this subclassification or classification of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes are in the central list. They are in the central list. Please do understand, this is again very important for prelims point of view, in the central list. And what the Supreme Court says, the constitutional bench, that is the 5-judge bench, the 5-judge bench led by Justice Arun Mishra said that, he said that the reservation has created inequalities. Please do understand, here the statement made by the Supreme Court that the reservation, which is actually to make sure that the inequality should be removed. Please do understand, the reservation, the purpose or the motto of the reservation, as per the which is enshrined in the Indian Constitution, is to remove the inequalities or to lessen the inequalities and then further gradually remove the inequalities. But the Constitution bench led by Justice Arun Mishra makes it very clear that reservations have created inequalities, within the reserved caste, So definitely you have X, Y, Z, fine, subcaste. So probably if X caste is only trying to gain the entire reservation or the entire benefits of the reservation, so what about Y and Z? That is what he says, reservation has created inequalities between X, Y, Z of scheduled caste. Just an example I am taking. So if X is the only one which is financially and literally, educationally they are better, so this is the only subcaste which will be getting the benefit if there is no subclassification. That is why the Supreme Court says that the state has the power to subclassify it, and the one who are really having amongst the scheduled caste who are the weakest subclass or subclasses, they have to be given the more of reservation, or they have to be identified, so that the reservations will remove the inequalities. But the Supreme Court the bench led by Justice Arun Mishra says that reservation has created inequalities within the reserved caste. That is what. And now there is a caste struggle. And please do take it into consideration these keywords, which will be very, very important in regards to the social issues in the mains point of view. How you can quote the Supreme Court verdicts, the 5-judge bench, what it has said, that the states can subclassify, has the power to subclassify the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in the central list and provide what? Preferential treatment. Why? Because it can provide preferential treatment for whom? For the weakest of weak. That is why I said, if Y and Z are weaker and they are financially and educationally or economically, socially, or they are backward, so they can give some preferential treatment, so that they can move up the ladder in the entire scheduled caste category itself. And what it says is the benefits of the reservations are observed, or it has been taken off by only a few. That is what the court is saying. That is what the example I have given here, X, Y, Z. And the states cannot deprive the power of the. So here in this regard, what the court is saying, that the states can go ahead with, the states have the power, because there are two kinds of differences. One is qualitative and quantitative. So the qualitative and the quantitative differences between the classes, they should be improved. That qualitative and quantitative measures, or quantitative or qualitative measure has to be improved, and that is why the court says that it is giving the power to the states to declassify or to subclassify the caste in the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. So this is what the Supreme Court has given a judgment on August 27, 2020. So now we will go ahead with the Supreme Court judgment which it has given in the year 2004. So please, this is how you need to focus now. This is how you need to focus. So the Supreme Court verdicts on the reservation. Please do understand, the Supreme Court verdict on reservation in regards to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. That is on August 27, 2020. Now we will go back to the Supreme Court verdict on the reservation in regards to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, which was given a judgment in the year 2004, and then also it was a 5-judge bench. Then also it was a 5-judge bench which has delivered the judgment in regards to the reservation of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and that case is called as E.V. Chinnaya case. Please do understand, these are all very important for prelims, and also while you are writing in the mains examination which case is that, when you are trying to put that, then it will be definitely important. And the Chinnaya judgment had held that that means it has holded. This judgment has said that the states, allowing the states to unilaterally make a class within a class of members of the scheduled caste would amount to tinkering with the presidential list. So the 2004 judgment, the 5-judge, that is E.V. Chinnaya case, has said that the states do not have power, or states cannot tinker. That means cannot change or subclassify the scheduled caste, members of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, which is in the central list or presidential list. Please do understand, this is the judgment which was given in the 2004. So now the judgment which is given in the 2020 is contrary. Contrary means it is against the judgment which has been given in the 2004 in the E.V. Chinnaya case, wherein in the E.V. Chinnaya case it has made it very clear that states cannot unilaterally make any class within class, that is subcaste. Scheduled caste 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 subcaste. This cannot be done unilaterally because it is in the presidential list. If it does, then it is tinkering. Tinkering in the sense it is interfering in the presidential list, which is in the part of the central list. And this too, as we have seen, the 2004 judgment and 2020 judgment, both are, please do understand, it is a 5-judge bench. Both are 5-judge bench verdicts. 5-judge bench verdicts. So therefore, what has happened is now the issue has been referred to 7-judge bench. Please do understand, because the 2004 judgment and 2020 judgment, both are 5-judge bench. So as both are 5-judge bench, now the number will increase and it is referred to the 7th-judge bench, so that it will decide whether the states have the power to subclassify the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So the central list, the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes are notified that they are in the central list, which are notified by the president. And now here very important is the articles which are pertaining to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes are Article 341 and Article 342. This is very important. And this, for the amendment to be done to the Article 341 and 342, what is important is the consent of the Parliament. Consent in the sense approval of the Parliament. Approval of the Parliament, wherein whether to include or exclude the caste from the list has to be approved by the Parliament as per the central list, which is notified by the President, which is under the Article 341 and 342. So we have seen the Article 341, 342 in regards to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and in regards to the GST Council, Article 279. So please do understand the importance of linking the two different issues, the Supreme Court verdict with the articles, Indian Constitution, which will be very important for the polity point of view, and again in regards to the GST Council, which is in regards to the economy, and then linking it with the polity, that is in regards to the articles, that is 279. So this is how you need to keep on focusing, that how best you can try to score maximum marks in the preliminary examination. And the another news is that 5 members of Great Andaman tribe test positive. So before I get into the topic, I have also discussed in regards to the tribes in a couple of days back. Please do let me know, the one who are in the live chat, or live, please let me know that which tribes we were talking about and which state. And again, now we will be looking in regards to the Great Andamanese tribe. So this is very important, as I said, in regards to the history and culture, and also the tribals in India. There could be questions in regards to the tribals in India, and tribals in India, and then linking it with the COVID-19 pandemic situation. Linking it with COVID-19 pandemic situation. So indigenous tribes, linking it with the health pandemic or health or pandemic issues. So please do let me know that which tribes we were talking about, or I discussed that it would be a part of it, because here we look at this five members of the great Andamanese tribes have been infected by the COVID-19 pandemic or COVID-19. They were tested positive, and these tribals or group of this also I have discussed when I was talking about the tribes which have also been infected by the COVID-19. So please do let me know the tribes. 5 tribals I have discussed, from which state. So they are also called as particularly vulnerable tribal groups. So even the Great Andamanese tribe are classified in particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Yes, very good. Savani says Bondas, Odisha. I have also discussed another 4 or 5. That is what is important. Please do try to recollect. And this Great Andamanese are one of the 5 particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Why I am saying is, there could be a question in regards to the prelims, not directly onto the tribal, but onto the particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Where do these particularly vulnerable tribal groups are spreaded across India? This way you need to focus. And once they have been tested positive, so they have been shifted to Port Blair for further treatment. And the question has arisen because they are indigenous and they are actually the habitation of these tribals are away from the normal people. So when they are away from the normal people, how could they be infected by the virus? Because they do maintain a lot of social distance. They are away from the normal people, but still they have been contracted by or infected by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. That is the question. How these people, the tribals, or that is the Great Andamanese tribe, that is particularly vulnerable tribal group, have been contracted by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. So what they say is, the health officials are saying that probably these people have, they have traveled to Strait Island because of finding some jobs for their livelihood. So these Great Andamanese tribes, they have traveled to Strait Island. So what is important is, see, look at, we are focusing in regards to tribals in India from prelims point of view here. But I would say you need to again link it. This news in regards to the geography map based. Current geography map based. How? Because they have traveled to Strait Island. The news is talking about. So we have to focus where is Port Blair in Andaman Nicobar Island and where is Strait Islands, so that no stone unturned. You as a civil servant aspirant have to get into the mode of having the macro level and then micro level. That is what is very important. You clear the prelims first and then think about mains. But at the same time, when you are focusing in regards to the macro level, this way, or this is the way, or this is the strategy, analysis and strategy wherein you need to get into the mode of mains come prelims. Then you will clear prelims. You will clear definitely prelims with not much of hiccup. Somebody says Dongra, Khand, Paudi, Sauras, Lanji, Sauras from Odisha. Very, absolutely very good. And now link it with this one. Great Andamanis. Very good. Good job, Stravani. And the Great Andaman is this again for prelims point of view. The Great Andamanese tribes, they speak which language? Again, this is very important for prelims point of view. They speak Jeru. Jeru, Jeru. They speak the language Jeru. Because I said Odisha's officials have also printed the guidelines to be followed in various tribal language also, I said. So that also you need to focus, everyone. And the 5 PV or particularly vulnerable tribal groups. So we were talking about particularly vulnerable tribal groups, and I said Greater Andamanese tribes are one of them. So which are the other are Greater Andamanese, and then Jarawas, and then Onjis, and then Shompens, and the 5th one is North Santhalese. This is very important for prelims point of view, because the particularly vulnerable tribal groups in Andaman Nicobar Islands are, see, that is what I said, there could be a question on the particularly vulnerable tribal groups, not in Odisha but in Andaman Nicobar Islands, because many of them might miss again this, because many of them might not focus on the 5. So which among the following, which there could be a question asking that which among the following is not particularly vulnerable tribal groups in Andaman Nicobar Islands. Which among the following is not the tribe which is part of the particularly vulnerable tribal groups in Andaman Nicobar Islands. So you need to know the 5. The first one is Greater Andamanis. The second one, the tribals, the second tribe is the Jarawas, and the third is Onjis, and the fourth is Shompens, and 5th is North Santhalese. This is very, very important. Please do understand. And definitely now the Greater Andamanis have been infected, and now what the officials, health officials and the administrations are trying to go ahead is they are getting into the mode of trying to test the other tribals or the particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Please do understand this keyword, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. They are now getting into the mode of testing the Onji tribes who resides. So the Onjis, they reside in where? In Dugong Creek. This is again very important for prelims point of view and current affairs, social issues point of view. And where is this Dugong Creek? It is in Little Andaman Island. Again geography map based. Onjis tribes, they reside in Dugong Creek. Dugong Creek, and Dugong Creek is in Little Andaman. Here in this Little Andaman, right? And the Jarawas. Again, the health officials are definitely going ahead with testing, trying to test the Jarawas. And where are these Jarawas reside? They reside in Jarawa Tribal Reserve. They reside in Jarawa Tribal Reserve. Who? Jarawas. And Onjis, they reside primarily in Dugong Creek, which is in the Little Andaman Islands. And then the Greater Andamanis, yes, they have identified. And the third one is the Shompin and North Santhalese. Shompins and North Santhalese, and they have to again go ahead with testing them, but the health officials and the administrations are finding it difficult to reach out and contact them because they live in a very secluded place. So see this point I will show you. this is the area wherein the North Sentinels live. This island, North Sentinels. So what is important is the 5 particularly vulnerable tribal groups, which are Greater Andaman is Jarawas, Onges, Shonpins and North Sentinels. Onges, they reside in Dugong Creek, which is part of the Little Andaman Island. Jarawas, they reside in the west coast of Jarawa tribal reserves, and then Shonpin and North Sentinels, they live in isolation. That is why they are difficult to reach out and then contact them. And if you look at this, yes, the North Andaman, you have in the Andamans, you have Andaman Islands and then you have Nicobar Islands. Please do take it into consideration for the prelims point of view. The Andaman Nicobar Islands. And you have North Andaman, you have Lower Andamans or Little Andaman. And then you have the Middle Andaman. So North, Middle and then Little. Lower. See, here there would be a possibility in the geography map based asking the Andamans or the islands, asking the islands of Andaman. Please do understand, not Andaman and Nicobar, asking the islands of Andaman from north to south. North to south. So north is North Andaman and south of North Andaman is Middle Andaman. South of Middle Andaman is not Little, is Lower Andaman, and south of Lower Andaman is Little Andaman. And Port Blair, please do understand this, geography point. Port Blair is between Lower Andaman and Little Andaman. Port Blair is between Lower Andaman and Little Andaman, or Port Blair is south of Lower Andaman and Port Blair is north of Little Andaman. Please do understand, Port Blair is south of Lower Andaman and Port Blair is north of Little Andaman. And if you look at the Nicobar Islands, okay, Great Andaman is, okay, you are talking about Great Andaman is, they are part of the Lower Andamans here. They are part of the Lower Andamans. Madhava, they are part of the Lower Andamans. And if you look at the Nicobar Islands, you have Car Nicobar, you have again Little Nicobar and then Great Nicobar Islands. And then many a times you have this, what do you say, Kachal Islands, Tarasa Islands, Bompaka Islands, Non-Cowrie Islands. These islands again focus, because there could be a possibility that UPSC might focus on these small islands in the Nicobar Islands. Again, there could be a question, and do not miss any question. Do not miss any question for prelims, and this is how your preparation has to be. And see, the official said that the Greater Andaman might have contacted the SARS-CoV-2 virus because they have traveled to Strait Islands. They have traveled to Strait Islands for the jobs, odd jobs. This is what the official statements given by the health officials. So I have taken this for geography map based. They are showing you, because Strait Islands is again north of Port Blair. Look at it. It is at the junction, or else at the junction of this island. So you have this Swaraj Dweep and Henry Lawrence Island here, and then Lakshampur. Fine, you have Port Blair here. So there could be a possibility that there could be a geography map based questions, not on tribals, not on Andaman, the Andaman Islands specifically, or Nicobar Islands, but there could be a question on the Strait Islands and the islands which are the places which are close to Strait Islands. Please do understand, there could be a possibility that a geography map based from UPSC might focus on the places which are close to the Strait Islands. So Port Blair you have, The south of Strait Island is you have Port Blair, and the south of Strait Island you find the Henry Lawrence Island and Swarajdeep and Lakshampur. This is how you need to focus. And then South Andaman. So the south, you can be also be asked a question wherein Strait Island is in between which of the two Andamans. So it is between Middle Andaman and South Andaman. Strait Island is in between Middle Andaman and South Andaman. This one, these questions. Fine. And look at this. You can also get many questions again here. 10-degree channel for prelims point of view. So 10-degree channel is between, no doubt, many of them will try to get the information that it is between Andaman and Nicobar. But the question will not be Andaman and Nicobar. They would give the 10-degree channel separates which of the following. Which of the following? The question would be the 10-degree channel separates which of the following state, which of the following 1, 2, 3, 4 statements. So it separates not. The question is, for example, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The second option is you can take it as like South Andaman, or else North Andaman and South Andaman, or else it could be like again in regards to the Car Nicobar Island and Greater Nicobar. Fourth one, it could be like Little Andaman and Car Nicobar Island. So the answer is 10-degree channel separates. 10 degrees channel separates Little Andaman and Car Nicobar Islands. And many a times there is a question in regards to the Camarota or Camarota Islands. As I said, now Kachal Islands. And then this is very important again for prelims point of view. Indira Point is the southernmost point of India. Of India I am saying, of India. When you take mainland India is different. Southernmost of India, mainland India is different again. In regards to the India is Indira Point. And then you have the Duncan Passage. This also is very important. Duncan Passage is between Little Andaman and the South Andaman. Or they could be given in regards to Port Blair and Little Andaman. So these are all very important. And you have these barren islands here. Havelock Islands. These are all very, very important. Pahalgam Island. So this is the way you need to focus. So here if you look at, you have the Car Nicobar Island. In regards to the Nicobar, you have Car Nicobar Islands. And then you have the Little Nicobar Islands and then Great Nicobar Islands. And Indira Point is part of not Little Nicobar but Great Nicobar. But when you talk about the southernmost of the Nicobar Andaman Islands is Little Andaman. Please do understand. The southernmost of the Andaman Islands are the Little Andamans. But in regards to the southernmost of the Nicobar Islands, it is Great Nicobar. It is not Little Nicobar. Please do understand. This is where you will get confused. In regards to Andamans, the southernmost is the Little Andaman. But in regards to the Nicobar Islands, it is not Little Nicobar. It is Great Nicobar. And the Indira Point is part of the Great Nicobar. And there is again, the experts are talking about the symptoms in regards to the COVID-19. So we will look at the symptoms. So definitely we know what are the symptoms. Symptoms are what? Generally what we know are symptoms of COVID or COVID-19 symptoms. But generally it is seasonal flu. which is, what do you say, related to only one part. Fine. So it is, what are the symptoms we had considered earlier? It was in regards to the viral pneumonia. Flu, which is again in regards to the pneumonia, congestion in the throat, again further it gets into the lungs, and then breathing problem. So it was considered as a single. But now what is important that the experts are saying that is, experts are saying that now, because of the various studies and the experience what they are also getting into, is now it is a multi-systemic disease. COVID-19 is now a multi-systemic disease with many extra pulmonary manifestation. And who is saying this? The experts. They are All India Institute of Medical Sciences is saying that now the COVID-19 is not just viral pneumonia, it is multi-systemic disease. This is what it is being told. And they are saying that it involves, the medical experts are saying that earlier it was only to the lungs, only to the lungs. That means the COVID-19 would infect, the COVID-19 pandemic, COVID-19 infected person would get infected only to the lungs, but it is now very clear that it is infecting other organs also, and they are also making it very clear that it would impact or have a long lasting impact on the reproductive health of young patients. This is very important. Young patients. So it is, earlier it was thought that it was a viral pneumonia, it is what a single systemic disease and it was only affecting the lungs. But now they are found out, the experts have found out, that is from the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, it is a multi-systemic disease and it is affecting other organs, and also it is affecting, or it will have a long lasting impact on the reproductive health in the young patients. So here the keyword is multi-systemic disease and reproductive health system. And definitely what we have understood about the SARS-CoV-2 virus, this SARS-CoV-2 virus, what does it do is it gets into, or it attaches, or it binds, the virus binds with human cell, So which human cell is that? ACE2 receptor. So we have a receptor in our body that is called as ACE2 receptor. So the virus gets and attaches. So this is the virus, it gets attached. So this is the ACE2 receptor. This looks like this, it looks like this, and this virus, which is like a spike, it goes and it attaches to this. Once it attaches, then it starts multiplying. So SARS-CoV-2, this is virus, this is a spike protein. So spike protein is the one which plays vital in regards to multiplication of the virus in the human body, that is in the ACE2 receptor in the human cell. So the clotting of the blood. So virus, what it does is it clots the blood, and where it is clotting the blood? It is clotting the blood in the lungs. That is why there is breathlessness. That means you are feeling shortage of oxygen. Why? Because of the clotting of the blood. But now what they have understood is that experts from the All India Medical Sciences, it is not just in regards to the lungs, but the clot formation is happening in the brain, in the limbs, that is the legs, and other parts of the body. Please do understand. So look at it, we are trying to get different analysis by trying to get it very close. So brain is been affected, limbs are been also affected in the sense the clotting of the blood, and other parts of the body, and what will happen? All this is the heart dysfunction takes place, dysfunction of the heart, and then irregular heartbeat happens because of not the regular supply of the blood is happening. And in regards to the autoimmune disorder take place, and the other one is inflammation of the blood vessel. Inflammation in the sense increasing, that is swelling. Inflammation means once the swelling of the blood vessel, suppose this is a blood vessel, fine, this is a blood vessel wherein it flows, the blood flows, and then if this is the blood vessel wherein inflammation is happening here. Inflammation means, as I said, swelling. Fine. So now look at the path. The way is very thin. So what happens? Definitely, once the blood vessel is thickened, it is swelling. So the blood doesn't flow to particular part of the body. That is why it says other parts of the body, because inflammation is taking place in the blood vessels across the body, and then the blood flow is not regular. Blood flow is not regular. When it is not regular, definitely it will lead to the complication. That is what it is. And the virus travels through the tissues and affects various parts. So, as I said, it enters into the human cell and then it travels through tissues across the body to various parts of the body, and then it will definitely impact. As earlier it was thought that it was a localized disease, but now it is multi-system disease. These are the two keywords which wherein you need to focus. Earlier it was thought that SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 pandemic disease is a localized disease, but now it is not a localized disease, but it is a multi-system disease. This is very important for you in regards to understanding for prelims point of view the keywords. And there is another news which talks about India can be weapon supplier. So Prime Minister is making it very clear that Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi is highlighting or has highlighted the Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense manufacturing. So we have looked at recently itself in regards to the 101 negative list I said, and then 108 wherein the list items wherein DRDO will help the defense, that is, it will help the army in regards to the design, testing, I said, and build. I said this. Fine. And now focusing from that, we will look at what our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has highlighted, the Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense manufacturing, wherein he has taken up a webinar, and then he said that India has the capability to become what? Reliable weapon supplier. This is very important keyword for the mains examination when you are writing up the in regards to the Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense manufacturing. Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense manufacturing in regards to the mains point of view. You can make it very clear that India is heading towards, or India has the capability of becoming a reliable weapon supplier to all the friendly nations, and then by becoming the reliable weapon supply, what India will get into the mode is that it will consolidate. It will make it very clear that it will be as a net security provider. It will be a net security provider to all the Indian Ocean region, to all these countries in the Indian Ocean region. Please do understand, this is very important. So India has the capability to become the reliable weapon suppliers to our friendly nations in the Indian Oceans, and once we can consolidate that, what we can consolidate? We can consolidate the position We can consolidate the position as net security provider to all the countries in the Indian Ocean. To all the countries in the Indian Ocean. And for the first time, we have seen from 49 percentage, it has been increased to 74 percentage. What? The FDI in the defense sector. Fine. So this and also not only this, they are also thinking in regards to the process of corporatization. So they wanted to corporate it. They wanted to corporate the entire process of the which process they wanted to corporate. They wanted to corporate the Ordnance Factory Board. Please do understand. So Ordnance Factory Board would be corporated. And what is the aim of this? Aim of this is that there would be new indigenous technologies which will come up into the mode, and this will serve to many, or it will add as a measures to the simplified licensing field. It will go ahead with the level playing field, and it will also go ahead with simplifying exports. I repeat once again. I was talking about the process of corporatization. So what is the office of corporatization? Means it will go ahead with corporatization of the Ordnance Factory Board. And what is the advantage? That is, a new indigenous technologies will be developed. New indigenous technologies will be developed. And by this, what will happen? Simplified leveling of or licensing field will take place, and level playing field will come into existence, and simplifying of exports will take place. So this is very important. That is why the process of corporatization of Ordnance Factory Board, this is again very important for prelims point of view. Which among the following are part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat in the defense manufacturing in the process of corporatization? Is Ordnance Factory Board. And the government has also gone ahead with issuing a draft. That means it wanted to go ahead with a new policy, and it is drafting a what policy? It is drafting a defense production and export promotion policy. Defense production and export promote policy. So what you need to understand here is that now we are talking about defense production export promotion policy. Fine. So what you as a civil servant aspirant has to focus is what was the previous policy. The previous policy is defense production promotion policy. Earlier is defense production promotion policy. The government recently issued a draft. That is why now it is defense production and export promotion. So what is included? Production and export. You had earlier defense promotion policy, DPP. Fine. So this they are going ahead with they are keeping it open for the public feedback, wherein this now the defense production and export promotion policy will be into manufacturing, and will be into exports. Please do understand. Why? Because production and exports. So it will be into manufacturing. They will focus in regards to the exports, and especially they would be in regards to the aerospace and defense goods and services. This is very important. Defense goods and services. And this is what this draft is in regards to the reforms they are taking up. And what kind of reforms what the government has taken up? It is in regards to the intellectual property rights. The government has taken up in regards to the taxation. The government has taken reforms in regards to the insolvency and bankruptcy, and also reforms in space and atomic energy. So the reforms are all what? Why all these reforms? For Atmanirbhar Bharat. for Atmanirbhar Bharat. So in addition to the defense production and export promotion policy, the other reforms which the government has taken as part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat are intellectual property rights, taxation, insolvency and bankruptcy, and also in the space and atomic energy. And in regards to defense infrastructure, there are two defense industrial corridors. Again, this is very important for prelims. So there are two defense industrial corridors which are actually the work is going on. Which state are they? Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. At a cost of this defense industrial corridor is taken up at a cost of 20,000 crore rupees, and this will be completed in another or next 5 years. All these are very important for the prelims point of view. All these are very, very important for the prelims point of view. So, two defense industrial corridor which are coming up in Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Which among the following states are not part of the defense industrial corridors which are part of the defense infrastructure taken up as on the sidelines of Atmanirbhar Bharat? So, the answer is Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. I mean, the others which are left out, and the right answer is Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. If you are having Gujarat and Maharashtra, or again in regards to Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, or else in regards to Haryana and West Bengal, and the fourth one is Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Yes, the answer is Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. So this we will now go ahead with recapitulating of the DNA. That is what we have discussed. That is in regards to RBI to bridge. So this is in regards to the economy we are focused, which is very important for prelims point of view. And then in regards to the SC STs, we are also focused here in regards to the polity point of view, because in regards to the GST Council we have discussed, wherein we are focused on the Article 279 in regards to the 279, and here in regards to the again the central list, or else in regards to the Supreme Court going ahead with giving powers to the states. So again we have discussed in regards to the 2002 judgment, and 5 members is again in regards to the tribals in India, particularly vulnerable tribal groups, again in regards to the geography map based we have looked at. So here in regards to the science and technology, or focusing on health, we have discussed for prelims point of view, and this is again in regards to Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan scheme in regards to the defense. So it could be again internal security. And I hope this session was informative, knowledgeable session. So I hope you would be benefited in regards to macro level strategy preparation, that is in regards to mains and prelims point of view. And I would say a big thank you and a good luck to you all. And I would wish that you would like the video. Extremely sorry, before you sign up, do like the video, share the video, and then subscribe the video. Here I am reiterating once again, please do subscribe the AKS IAS English channel, because as I said, gradually the DNA, that is daily news analysis by me, that is of AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis, will be shifted from which YouTube channel now you are watching to the YouTube channel, that is AKS IAS English YouTube channel. AKS IAS English YouTube channel. So please do subscribe. Please do subscribe the AKS IAS English channel, so that you can view the DNA daily news analysis in English. And then do visit AKS IAS Academy and also subscribe to Telegram link of AKS IAS Academy also. And then I would say once again that we will meet again tomorrow for the daily news analysis at 7:30 AM. And I would say do maintain consistency throughout your preparation. and then stick to your schedule throughout your preparation, and then also take care of your physical health and mental health to attain success. So I would say a very big thank you to all. Thank you all and all the best.